This is the buck reel, and by the end of this video, you're going to have learned the skills and techniques to become an absolute deer calling master. Hey guys, this is the buck reel. So I invented this based off of the elk call that I initially invented. And initially, I had never hunted much whitetails. So fast forward 10 years later, and put an awful lot into this call to make it sound really realistic, to be really playable, to solve a lot of problems that other deer calls have. I don't think that there's a lot of calls that have very accurate doe vocalizations. I mean, if you think of the can call, it's not very playable. The volume range isn't that great. And you know, when I was listening to real deer out shed hunting over the years, I've heard mule deer vocalize like almost like I heard a cow elk multiple times. In the dark one time, hiking up, I just remember hearing it and knowing exactly what it was because I had heard it during shed hunting season. And as the sun came up, literally I had mule deer does all around me. They do vocalize. And whitetail deer definitely vocalize, and the does and the fawns definitely vocalize. I've gotten them on my trail camera, on video, making sounds over the years that are very similar to the can call kind of sound. So very playable. And very volume controllable. I'm not a big fan of all of the other doe fawn vocalization calls that are available on the market. That's why I invented this call. This call is based off of our original elk reel. It's designed to be very playable, very believable, and solve those inconsistency issues that other deer calls have with temperature, moisture, etc. So once you learn how to blow this call, it's very repeatable. You can control the volume, you can control the pitch. You can really reach out to a cruising buck if you need to, or you can call really soft just to make sure there's nothing close. So start soft, raise the volume. Think of applications that I've used this call are on cruising bucks, or just to blind call to add some realism to a calling sequence. Those kind of vocalizations that I've done blind calling have accounted for the majority of the whitetail bucks that I've arrowed over the years. It speaks for itself. When you're consistently taking mature deer, you're not able to hunt that often. I think the last time I hunted whitetails, I hunted one day. Sat there. I guarantee you the buck that I heard that was bedded close enough to hear it and came in to check it all out. So I'd had a couple other deer in there that afternoon, and he was the first mature deer that I saw, and that was that. But that scenario has played out many times in multiple states. So, and I've had lots of people that have had cruising deer or have been sitting in bedding areas and just blind call, and then are just covered up in whitetails. So I think that's what you want. The call takes some touch, but it's not incredibly hard to blow. The way that I'm doing those grunts is I'm going to go into the call. The way that I'm going to do those doe vocalizations is I'm just simply going to go like real soft, breathing from here, almost like you're, but you're just not even making the hiss noise. You're just. Then it's about the pace of your air, how much you're pinching this lid. If you squeeze it, the pitch is going to go up. If you let it out, the pitch is going to go down. So it's just about practicing with it. Once you can figure out how to make those vocalizations, they're very repeatable. And I can't tell you how being able to stack those different kinds of deer sounds with those grunts makes it sound like there's actually something going on. Like scenario one, you've got a doe with her yearling fawn and a buck. And the buck comes in and he basically wants to chase that. Maybe it's a button buck. or just a doe fawn, but he's going to want to chase that fawn away. So a lot of times when I've heard whitetails vocalizing like that, it has been the fawn that has just lost their mom. But I think that signifies in that kind of scenario that kind of activity, if you were a cruising buck and you heard that kind of thing going on, that's going to signify that there's some breeding activity, that there might be a hot doe. I mean, like, I'm trying to imagine in my brain what's going on in the deer's brain. So what could he be interpreting those sounds to be? What kind of sounds could I make to make him interested enough to come into bow range, to make him get up out of his bed, or, you know, to see in a mature buck in the daytime? I mean, that is the real trick. I've had lots and lots and lots of experience with getting deer at night on the cameras over the years, and then I've steadily gotten better at seeing them in the daytime, to where now I'm pretty good at targeting one specific whitetail buck and being able to kill him by not over pressuring the situation, and then using effective calling to call him into view or call him into range. So those have been my two tricks: being able to stack your doe, fawn, buck vocalizations together, being able to do it separately, or just having a different kind of sound. I mean, an elk calling, turkey calling, deer calling, duck, goose calling, to sound exactly like the last 6 callers that the animal has heard, or, you know, if it's heard that kind of vocalization before, and come in, you know, somebody grunted at a button buck, or somebody grunted at a small buck thinking it was fun to mess with them. They start to learn these lessons. They learn that these sounds can be imitated by hunters, or whatever they learn that these sounds mean danger. So, you know, to be cautious about it. And that's why I think sounding a little bit different with a deer call is absolutely deadly. Try a buck reel. This call is designed to solve all the shortcomings of all the other calls that I used, and to have a more natural, believable sound, and be able to be more playable, more consistent, and kill more deer.